gonna watch this.
transhumanists.
Who are they?
Oh, just like the Democrats.
So what is for those who don't know, what is transhumanism?
Transhumanism is the idea that we're merging with AI and
He also interviewed the homie Urban too. Polo Cuddy and Urban. He had an interview with them as well.
that soon there's going to be there's sort of like it's the sort of merging of technology. Sort of
My man, Yakuza are basically a Japanese organized crime syndicates. Whoa, dude, no way. The fact that you expect that I don't know what fucking Yakuza is hilarious to me. But I don't know who this dude is, okay? I don't know. I have no fucking idea who this dude is, but everyone was like, you have to watch this. You have to watch this. You have to watch this podcast. You have to watch this episode. How do you know Urban? Lol, what the fuck? Lots of mutual friends. He's a music legend. Oh, really? Orby has all the Ariel Pink lore. Mid music, shitty human.
Sort of Elon Musk dream, right. And this sort of like insistence that that's where we're going, and that we have to just roll with it, that kind of thing, and that like we're trying to get off the planet before it gets recycled.
Yo, my man does look like Shane Dawson.
Subsumed by the sun when it expands in 5 million years or whatever. Or it's going to be, we're not going to last on the planet. So the elite need to sort of just need to figure out how to terraform the moon or Mars or something like that.
So what do you see as the worst case scenario for the future of the West?
The worst case is actually the best case. I mean, like the worst case would be stagnation, right? Because things aren't that bad right now. If things were just like stood still and like we didn't make change a virtue, then the things that are coming up the pike wouldn't have to happen because they're all going to be bad.
What's coming up the pike right now that concerns you the most?
Oh, I mean, probably the end of democracy as we know it, and that kind of thing, as we've known it, as I've known it throughout my life.
Who do you think is spearheading the end of democracy?
There's no question. Well, I mean, democracy in the American dream. I'm talking about free speech and like all the things that we know, or like free, like real elections, the ability for people to make a livelihood for themselves, or make a free enterprise, free market economy. The thing that like allows us to become to make
Damn, bro. I was worried that I was gonna come across crazy in my interview with Andrew. And after seeing this, I feel a lot better.
To be Amazon or Google or Walmart, all these like brilliant innovations and that get so huge and they become like almost like monoliths and bigger than countries. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what this country has allowed people to do, and I think it's the best thing about it. So that's going to be gone.
He hasn't finished a single thought either. I don't know what he's doing. He just like hasn't completed a sentence so far. Warning: Echo Park, Silver Lake, Hollywood, edgelord incoming.
Because people are going to clamp down on rich people.
Rich people?
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're jealous. I don't know. Because they're. I don't.
So this is who you guys listen to music wise. It's always so weird to me when like people try to market conservatism as counterculture, because you're literally just repeating talking points from super old, super rich white dudes that want to return to the way things used to be, I guess. Like, conservatism inherently can't be counterculture. You know what I mean? He makes really good music though. Sag. Yeah. It just you're trying to conserve. You never guess his political opinions based on his
I
music.
don't want to say socialist, but like that's because
Send me some of his shit. I want to see.
you can have a Google come out of France. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, you would, or an Amazon come out of France.
First of all, Google and Amazon, not exactly, especially Amazon, not exactly a company that is known for best practices. And this notion that like European companies are not good is so silly, especially when considering the reality that like Google wasn't even created by Americans, or at least like immigrants is who created Google, and Google relies heavily on publicly funded research. I love that American idea though, that like no companies exist outside of America. You know what I mean?
Would never happen because the government would appropriate it.
So what do you think is turning people socialist?
The government would appropriate it.
They don't. They're like jealous of rich people, and they hate Donald Trump, and they don't even know what they're doing. I mean, I think it's young people. I think it's young people that haven't made anything with their lives, so it's easy to sort of like be afraid about what to do with your life.
Yeah,
and so, you know, there's that saying that's like, if
Socialism is when you hate rich people, and the more you hate rich people, the more socialist you are. For example, Karl Marx invented socialism in 1984 with his other notoriously poor friend, Engels. Very poor guy. Definitely did not own a factory. George Orwell, with George Orwell and Engels.
if you're a conservative under 30, you've got no heart. If you're a conservative, if you're a Democrat under 30, you have no brain. No, it's the opposite way. It's the opposite. Sorry.
No, it's all good, man. Don't trip.
No, but it's the idea that as you get older, you know, you become you get more conservative because you have things, but people that don't have things obviously want, you know, things to be shared, you know.
Right.
So I mean, I understand, but
What are your thoughts on Trump?
I love him. I'm gay for him.
Why?
I think he's my fearless leader, and he's taken up he's an indictment on everything bullshit in the world.
So what sort of corruption do you see him as fighting?
I just think that I see everywhere around me. I see the media as being this, you know, this is not just one person. I mean, this is like a whole thing against one person. And that should give you an indication about, you know, about who's really evil.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have that much power. He's just a person. He's just a president. He's been in there for 4 years. You don't even become a professional. They say that, like, you know, it takes 10,000 hours. Anybody that works at something for 10,000 hours becomes a professional. You know, it's like, well, that works out to about 9 to 5 days a week for 4 years. By the time a president knows what they're doing is when they're pretty much going on their way out.
Right.
So our situation, being a president is always like a brand new thing. It's like giving the keys to the car to like a 4-year-old.
Right.
And that's how we keep it, you know, from like corrupting itself. So there's nobody has any that much power. But the president has power, but not like enough to call him a fascist or a dictator or anything like that. So what's really going on is that, like, you know, he wasn't supposed to be president. As far as the establishment is concerned, the establishment is reeling from losing its power because it's had it, you know, for at least 20, 25 years.
Dude, it was super anti-establishment when Donald Trump deregulated industries and gave massive tax cuts to corporations and the wealthy. Nothing screams anti-establishment like increasing military discretionary spending. Like, I cannot think of a more anti-establishment, like, because both Democrats and Republicans are constantly fighting amongst themselves to give the military less money. And Donald Trump was like, no, we're going to do the opposite of that. You know, I'm glad that this guy has really got his finger on the pulse there. And the socialism thing is, of course, true too. The more jealous you are, the more socialist you become. And when you're the most jealous, you're a communist.
Yeah, I guess my thing is, as a member of New York's kind of finance elite, like, what makes you see Donald Trump as not a part of the establishment? Just, I'm not challenging.
Oh, he's
you,
not.
I'm just wondering.
He's not a part of the establishment. He's a. I think Donald Trump is a entrepreneur. He has colleagues. He's got peers in Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
They're all rich, super rich.
Mm.
And I think that, like, I think he was just, looking around him, wondering why his buddies and rich friends were all donating money to a party that basically didn't have their best interest at heart at all. I mean, like, the Democratic Party is like such a totally, it's like, it's so against it. It's really it really has the effect of basically wanting to punish people that are too greedy, supposedly. Right. That's like their main motivation. Their check on greed. Well, it's the greed is actually what is preserved. The real greed, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the problem isn't that people get too rich. It's that people.
Was like 1994 the last time this dude had clarity of vision before he was introduced, before he welcomed hard drugs into his home? Because, like, this is literally like 1990s greed is good mentality. I thought we had like the Occupy Wall Street movement and shit that. I mean, he's literally just saying, like, endless growth is a good thing and greed isn't a bad thing. Like, most conservatives don't even fucking feel that way anymore. God damn. Shit is super washed.
People that it's not that like people that are rich are stealing money from the poor people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that. That's not the way it works. It's like the fact that somebody can get rich should be a signal that anybody can get rich.
Right.
And the more rich people that there are, the better.
But I think that a lot of people who disagree.
Oh my God, this is literally that fucking joke from Who is America, where the Sacha Baron Cohen character who's supposed to be a chud, the Truthberry guy, is like, well, you take the 1% and you roll it over to 99%, so that 99% is the 1%. Like, that's what he's saying. The more rich people have, the better. That's wild to me.
That would point to the fact that most rich people come from a rich lineage, so there's not much chance for just starter entrepreneurship.
Really? There's no rich. There's really.
No, I'm not saying all people, but that's how they feel on the left. Is that?
Yeah, but that's how they feel. But that they're wrong. I mean, like, we know that they're wrong because people come to this country with nothing and they do stuff.
The least you could do is, if you know the talking points, say like, well, 80% of people that come from 80% of recipients of intergenerational wealth end up having less money later down the line or some shit. Which is still bullshit, because, like, people don't fucking make money when they're 14 or 18. They get their money. They get intergenerational wealth. They inherit wealth later in the years. Okay? Anyway, let's keep going.
But generational wealth certainly is favored on, like, the white landowning side.
Who cares? I'm just saying. Like the point is this: it's not going to last that long. I mean, if you inherit wealth from your family, great. You're set up. You're fine. Awesome. You don't have to do anything.
Right.
You're probably not gonna. If you get married, awesome. If you have kids, awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully hopefully they don't have to do anything either.
Right.
Like that's the point is that you inherit money, and that's how you fucking it's passed down from generation to generation. If you want to take that away, you want to take away like inheritance.
But the idea is that if you follow that inheritance up and up and up to like, you know, the great.
Yes. Ask Chad if they'd rather have inherited $5 million or a fat 10-inch cock. Who really has the privilege in society? What? Pogus Champ is with the absolute banger, dude. With the fucking absolute banger, dude. Good job, Pogus Champus. Pogus Champus is back, baby. When he's not crying about fucking white people being attacked on the internet, he's got some good ones. Also, 10 inches is way too big. Pogus Champ is classic incel, never has talked to a woman ever in his entire life because outside of like pornography and some size queens, and I know some fucking size queens, like I literally know porn stars, most women will not enjoy a 10-inch penis. Way too big. It's more so a male fantasy. No such thing as too big? Okay. Size, like, no. The gay size queens don't matter in this conversation. We're talking about it purely from a heteronormative, a cis-het heteronormative point of view where he is referencing the argument. Please turn this off. I think I'm catching his depression. As a girl, get that 10-inch monster away. There's absolutely such a thing as too big. Yeah. Wait, are there women that actually like 10-inch penis? I mean, there's a different flavor for everything. Male fantasies are the worst fantasies. Yeah, it just screams like male focused insecurity to assume like, oh, dude, you gotta have that fucking 10-inch hog, dude. No, like it's also clear that you yourself probably don't have the largest of dicks because you have never had sex with a person where it was not super easy. Okay, and I'm not saying I got a fat one. All right. I'm not saying that at all. But a 10-inch hog is painful as fuck. Loser POV, your penis must be so tiny. If you think so. Let's keep going with this interview.
Great grandparent of a current like rich Yale student.
Great.
A vagina can fit a human infant, bruh, is such a fucking idiotic argument. Bitch, do you know how painful fucking childbirth is? Women shit themselves during it, dude. That's not like a fun sexual experience. That's literally my point. It fucking tears the vagina. Like, dude, that's so nasty. That is so fucking nasty to like, this is why women cannot just like freely have sex with every guy. Okay? Because there's dudes out there that are like, bro, a female vagina can fucking fit a baby, bro. then they'll fucking fit my dick, dude. Like, you just literally compared a sexual act to a hopefully once in your life incredibly painful moment that is only acceptable because of the remarkable elements and only acceptable to put yourself into that pain because of what happens as a consequence of it instance. One is like purely for pleasure. The other one is literally the most painful thing. Biden just banned chicken tendies through executive order. Should we bring Trump back? Yes. Hopefully once. Do you resent your brother or something? Well, that came out wrong. That's not what I meant. No. HasanAbi has got to stop being so real. He's going to make these insults with 5 inches think they're going to tear up pussy literally with their average sized dick. Like, he's not even saying anything wrong, but it's too much for their simple minds. Well, they're incels, so I don't think... If they are incels, they're probably not going to see vagina anytime soon outside of porn. The React frogs are a scourge on this community and must be dealt with swiftly. They are oppressing the innocent gaming frog again. Are they? He's saying that a penis is nothing compared to a childbirth? Yes, a childbirth is insanely fucking painful. I'm not saying a 10-incher is going to be as painful as childbirth, but there is such a thing as sex being not as pleasing after a certain point. And you can't go balls deep either. God, how are we talking about this? Right,
great grandparent. I mean, money is like the Commonwealth in England is
yeah.
It's
It's not the width. Vaginas aren't that deep. Crushing cervixes, exactly.
I mean, you have the royal family that's been basically carrying on their own lineage and their own, inheriting their own wealth for that long.
But I mean, do you feel like it's unfair in a sense for rich people to not be taxed more than the average person?
No, they do.
But I mean,
they do.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying
so they do already. Yeah. Is that the issue? The issue is really that like there are Democrats. The real people that get screwed over are the middle class, right?
Yeah. Do you think there is a middle class anymore?
Yeah.
Where?
I think it's here. I mean, I think that that trickle down economics is a real thing. It's absolutely a real thing.
God,
we have.
Dude, I cannot believe how counterculture this guy is. Literally believing in discredited Reaganomics.
Entities at our disposal here that like our parents didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like that's not because we because we're able to live in LA. That's because because phones have gotten cheaper and because we're taking because of the inventions that have been allowed to the inventors have been allowed to make their money and to invent, and then it gets the standard of living goes up automatically.
So the idea on the left of
dude. Socialism is when at gunpoint you tell scientists that they can no longer accomplish scientific achievements.
Taxing the rich to bring more prosperity to the poor.
I think it's just stupid. It's just them basically they just want to like punish because it feels good to punish people that have that work for what they do. Okay, and it's good to like sort of like also blame them for all your problems. That's it's just the easy way out. Okay, the point is that like if you want money, you can get it. You just gotta love it a little bit, and you gotta go get the money. And it's not gonna fall in your lap.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, like what he did, which was, I guess, be born into a wealthy multimillionaire family.
No, but people that don't love money and they think it's like an evil are just it's never going to fall in your lap. Yeah, of course.
I mean, even the people who hate money the most use shit like iPhones. So I mean,
but I'm just saying. Yeah. Money is not going to come to you if you hate it. Well, if you don't like money, and it's good that you don't, because it's good that you don't. People, there's only a few.
That's patently false.
Few people that like money. Like honestly, like I think it's 99% of the people don't care about money. It's not like the biggest fucking deal. It doesn't make or break their.
No. Money is something you care about when you don't have it. And it's understandable because it's freedom. Money isn't about fucking being able to buy nice things. It's about being able to have freedom. Okay? That's what it is. This dude is speaking like a person who has never been poor. Okay? Who has never endured financial hardship. Who's never had to fucking put together folders where he looks at all of his fucking spending to see where he's going to be at the end of the month. That's it. Once you have a certain amount of money, and once you have therefore have a certain amount of freedom, then money is inconsequential in the grand scheme of things once you have passed that point of survival. But in our society, most people don't get to that point of survival. And that's because our economic organization is designed in a way to ensure that certain people never make ends meet so that they will be, cleaning this guy's toilet, even though this guy, literally in a truly just society, would not be anywhere near the level of success or fame he has. But because he had a starting position that was infinitely beyond what most people can ever comprehend or achieve in their livelihoods in their entire lifetimes, he gets to be able to talk out of his ass this way. Wrong. How can he say that he doesn't know what it's like to be poor? Look at what he's wearing. Clearly got the fish out of a trash can. He was kind of a gutter punk fuck up for most of his youth until he was discovered. Bro, his dad is... He was a gutter punk fuck up. I'm looking at his background, and it seems like doctor accused an alleged insurance scam to be rearrested. This is his dad, Mario Z. Rosenberg, a Beverly Hills gastroenterologist. Must show that the money used to post bail was obtained lawfully. Yeah, Ariel Marcus Rosenberg, son of Mario Z. Rosenberg and Linda Rosenberg Kennett. He's a Harvard-educated gastroenterologist born into a Jewish family in Mexico City, while Linda is from New Orleans. They moved to Los Angeles after Mario completed his medical specialty work at Tulane University in New Orleans. Ariel's first language is Spanish, but his family is Jewish. His mother's a convert. Yeah, dude. I'd love to be a fucking, gutter punk kid with a wealthy fucking Harvard-educated doctor father. Dad, can we talk about the Mongol rape of almost the entity of Europe and Asia during the 1200s? No. Rosenberg was initially raised in Louisiana. He chose to live there with his mother following child custody proceedings. They lived in Pico Robertson and later Bogalusa. Through the bullying he received in junior high school, his parents sent him to live with his cousins in Mexico for a year. There he lost virginity at age 13 to a prostitute named Sarah and discovered the Cure, a band he espoused, something unholy, something alive and dead at the same time. He then returned to live with his father in Beverly Wood area of Los Angeles. where he attended Beverly Hills High School, branded himself as goth, sold off his collection of metal records, and stopped following new music. Cited Nirvana as the last group he enjoyed before this point. In his view, grunge and alternative rock bands marked the end of the forward progress of popular music. After that, my listening was totally retro. My mind was closed itself off from the rest of the planet. So he's in a permanent goth phase? Dude, it's so sad when you go to literally one of the richest fucking public schools in the entire country. One of the most famous public schools in the entire country. Not to say that, like, you can't come from affluent beginnings or even be a rich kid who's fucking based this shit, but this is incredibly descriptive, incredibly informative on why he is the way he is.
Great thing.
Like, you can see that he hasn't put in the work. By the way, oh my God. Remember when I said in 1990, this dude is stuck in 1994? Talking about greed is good? That's him literally admitting that.
Do you like money?
I like money in this as much as I know that I needed to survive, and so I've made enough money that I actually don't have to think about it for a little while. I mean, right. I mean that's kind of like, you know, yeah, I'm it's a race against time.
I like money too.
I mean, no, everybody, you should, you got it because it's not going to come to you.
It's nice to have it, but I guess I wonder, like, what do you like to spend money on when you have it?
I don't spend money. It accrues. It's easy for me to make money and just like actually like sit on it.
So what are you saving it for? You want to take a?
No, I'm just paying my rent. I mean, I don't have to. I think about it like in just very, very practical terms. It's like, okay, if I'm getting if my rent is $2,000 for 12 months.
There's no fucking way this dude lives in a... I pay more than this guy does in rent? I fucking doubt it, dude. Wait, where does he live? Does he live in San Francisco or LA? In $2,000 in LA, you can get like a decent place outside of LA. He was literally addicted to meth till he got discovered. Okay. What does that mean, dude? Like, you think that fucking changes his background? I'm so confused. I paid $2,000 for a 1-bedroom in West LA. Yeah, you got lucky. You did. You got lucky. My dude thinks like being addicted to meth automatically qualifies you to be poor, which is kind of weird. Like he wasn't like homeless and he got addicted to meth. He was rich and he got addicted to meth.
I need to make $24,000 in order to not think about my rent for a year.
Yeah. Oh, I get you. But do you have any like a end of life sort of like financial goals? Like, is there something you want to do?
No.
You just want to have it?
No, I just want to not have to worry about my rent, so I can basically do what I want to do.
And what do you like to do?
Just fuck around.
Hell yeah.
Hang out in my underwear and watch movies, man. Like that's all it is.
Word.
It doesn't cost. You see that? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is that like it doesn't? It's not like
I saw this. Instacart is firing every employee who voted to unionize. America, baby. Prop 22 coming to a fucking state near you.
It's not like. I mean, if you don't have a job, yeah, it's hard to fucking get your bearings.
For sure.
When you don't have a place to live, it's hard to find a job. All that stuff. Sure, I get it. But
do you get it though? Because it seems like you don't get it. Like, oh, if you want money, just make money, lol, means that you literally don't get it. Like, you've never gotten it. There could have been a point in time where you got it. And if anyone, like Joe Rogan is a perfect example of this. Joe Rogan, impossibly rich now, right? But if you ever listen to Joe Rogan, you know that it's not like he was born fucking wealthy. Like, because the way that he talks about poor people, the way that he talks about poverty as a systemic issue, literally comes from a place of personal experience. He might have incredibly chud-like takes on a multitude of different things. And that's beyond what I'm trying to say here. But Joe Rogan, when it comes to like even simple fucking things like building and zoning restrictions or building codes that are necessary, like when he was talking to Dave Rubin, for example, like why does he immediately go, no, you need that shit because I've fucking worked with some horrible contractors before, like they will fucking kill you, like you'll die. Like he knows that because he's been there. This man has not. And I've talked about it before. Like I come from pretty affluent a pretty affluent background originally, but there were definitely moments where I suffered financial hardship. Partially because I wanted to be on my own, and partially because my parents didn't. My father and even my grandfather before him have what is known as the piker curse. Where they just make a fuckload of money and then literally spend it all by the time that the next generation reaches adulthood. But it doesn't matter because the affluent beginning that I had helped me tremendously. So that's why it's really fucking stupid when people say stuff like, oh, so many people don't inherit money. Like, they make their own wealth. It's like, bitch, if you're rich, you get to have networking opportunities that are not available to like 99% of the population. Your dad's at the fucking golf course with other people who are like CEOs and shit. I didn't have all that stuff because I came to America. So my situation is different. But still, even the fact that I had affluent beginnings and we're able to get a great education and not have to worry about like having to work a job while I was in high school and shit like that. These are massive leaps forward that other people do not have. Like it's just a huge step up on others. You know? You literally at TYT LMAO. Oh my god, don't fucking get me started on TYT, brother. Like, motherfuckers be like, you literally at TYT. Bro, you know how much money I made at TYT my first year working there? $20,000. It was below the fucking poverty line, dipshit. Shut the fuck up. There's a reason why you see you see where I'm at now versus where I used to be at fucking TYT. Jesus Christ, dude. Fuck. I mean, look, I love Jank, and he was super fucking helpful. He was super helpful, but like, bitch, it wasn't TYT that is the reason why I now have more fucking live concurrent viewers than TYT. Come on, dude. Is that what happened? Did I just like steal their entire audience and then double it? Double their daily concurrent view count at their peak? Is that how it happened? Anyway. Did you had no part of your self-made man? No, I would never fucking say that. I would never say that. And I don't say that. TYT was a huge help. But people make it seem like I fucking made millions at TYT or some shit. And it's really fucking annoying. Then again, the funniest thing though is that like people always look to different reasons, right? They'll say like TYT made you, this person made you, that person made you. Oh, you're only popular because you're attractive. You're only popular because you speak about politics. Brittany Venti did a video actually calling you out for making money on TYT and then leaving, lol. Yeah, I made no money at fucking TYT. TYT's constant call for donations is legit, huh? Oh, absolutely. Oh, the thing I was gonna say is, it's like, this person made you, that person made you. It's like, yeah, it's a fucking combination of all of those things that make all of us up. That's it. Why are you watching Venti videos? I didn't watch it. Debater mentality. If TYT didn't help you, you're self-made. If TYT helped you, you're a leech. And it's also inherently fucking anti-labor theory of value to assume that, like, you know, I was working at TYT and they were gracious enough to, like, let me work there. Like, what a bunch of fucking capitalist cucks you guys are, huh? Oh, dude. Oh, dude, you were so lucky that, like, your uncle was gracious enough to give you a job. How about the other way around, motherfucker? How about he was lucky that he got me for fucking 20K? Like, and that's not even cocky. That's just how you should also operate as well. TYT is what got you there. You used the exposure to blow up like you did, or I think you should at least give them more props. I do give them props. I defend fucking Jank and TYT all the goddamn time. Of course TYT helped. But that's not what gets you across the finish line. Like, it's just a coping mechanism for people to be like, oh yeah, that's why, dude, it's TYT. It's like an attack point, which is something I already admit. Like, of course TYT helped. But, like, anyway, I don't want to talk about this more because I feel like it just attacks people that still work there and shit, and they're my friends and I love them. No single entity made you who you are. The common denominator is always you being entertained, which is why you're successful. It's just like, it's so dumb. Know your self-worth, folks. No matter what position you're in. I mean that legitimately. Know your fucking worth. You are absolutely worth more than what they pay you. And don't let people fucking give you shit. Don't let people tell you that, like, you know, job creators are people you should be job creators are people you should be thankful for allowing you to add value to their product. What the fuck do you mean? I'm a fucking worker, bitch. What are you talking about? There is no such thing as a self-made person. We know our worth. We just don't have an uncle who sees our worth and can do something about it. Dude, that's the dumb fuck part about it that triggers me endlessly. Okay? Again, you are making it seem as like saying that TYT fucking helped is one thing, but you're doing that thing where you're like, you're so lucky that you were unhireable with a fucking 375, with a 375 GPA from a relatively reputable institution, like, that, like, you're so lucky that you worked for 20 grand your first fucking year living in a goddamn kitchen frat house. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what does that take? That shit pisses me off because you're like, you are, again, that mentality is literally the same fucking type of mentality people have where, like, I'm so grateful for the boss man. If it wasn't for the boss man offering me a job, I would just be out in the streets poor as fuck. It's like, no, dude, it's a contract, okay? They underpay you every single time, regardless of whatever kind of value you bring to the corporation. Recognize your worth and also recognize the job that others put in too. TYT made you stream 12 plus hours a day for over a year. Yeah, exactly. It's not even like it's not even a good fucking counter. Also, I was clocking fucking 30 million views a week for TYT when I was there. Give me a goddamn break, brother. Holy shit. None of which I saw as like returns. Thank you for letting me make millions off views off your 20K salary. Yeah, like Jesus Christ, dude.
But you gotta like, I mean, at a certain point, man, it's not, that's not it. That's not what the sort of like altruistic kind of like sort of like, bailing people out, bailing out the unfortunate and all this kind of stuff from I mean that's you can't life is not fair.
So how do you think the hungry and homeless should be fed?
Well, they get fed. They've been fed.
If they can't get food today, right now.
If they can't get food, they're not going to live. They're going to just die. They're going to be like but they've been able to feed themselves enough so far. I mean, they're alive, aren't they?
Some of them, depending on where you're at.
I mean, they're all pretty old. They know how to get their food.
Where'd you grow up?
Here.
In LA? What part of LA you from?
LA, just West LA.
He didn't want to say Beverly Hills, dude. Motherfucker didn't want to say Beverlywood, okay? That's why. It's just West LA.
Hollywood.
This zone?
Yeah. So we used to have lots of record stores back then, but I took it for granted that they would always be here. So so it was for me luckily I moved to the other side of the aisle.
Which is what?
Which is being an artist.
Saying just let poor people die is actually refreshing because he's too stupid to find a different counter. So he's basically giving the game away. Like, it is honest. It's brutal, but it's remarkably honest about the conservative point of view. Like, conservative worldview literally is let the poors die. And I feel like it's not said enough. Do you get it? Like, it's not, people don't say it, so people forget that, like, the conservative worldview literally revolves around if you are poor and you don't have the best beginnings, then you deserve a lifetime of horrible things happening to you. That's honest. I don't mean that as a good thing, by the way. I wish more people were honest like this, or I guess stupid enough to literally say it out loud.
And I outlived the record stores because they're pretty much gone.
Were you like a more liberal dude growing up, or
a little more liberal?
Yeah, just being in kind of like the indie rock scene.
There's no scene here.
What do you mean?
There's no indie rock scene.
Okay, so where?
There was no indie rock scene. I was not part of any scene here.
Okay,
I was a guy. I thought I liken it to being I was a weirdo. In my own mind, I didn't mind being different, and it wasn't, but it was a bigger deal to be. Well, it's a bigger deal to be different now, I'd say.
What do you mean?
I'd say it's a bigger deal to be different now. I know. I'm just saying no, I felt like I felt I was very disenfranchised.
Did I get stun locked at the top of the hour into forgetting to run an ad again? Or did I run an ad? God fucking damn it, dude. Modern Republicans are literal social Darwinists? Yes. Okay, well, I'm running it right now. Top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break right now. And then after that, we're going to move on to greener pastures, okay? We're gonna move on to maybe, like, we're going to finish this interview because I think it's really good. But then after that, I'll figure out what we're going to do. I haven't yet, but I will. I think eventually we might even play some motherfucking... Eventually we might even play some motherfucking Hitman, baby.
And very...
Does the dashboard not
like
tell you? Oh, shit, I forgot to run the ad. Holy shit.
And all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Disenfranchised from what?
From everything.
This interview is great because this dude is
from
fucking crazy.
From just the status quo and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt... but I was very, very happy to not be a part of that. You know, like I would read about the people that were my parents' age, and it gave me hope for the future, because they were just people that just, like, you know, didn't do anything. They had the 60s revolution. They didn't fucking give a fuck about their lives.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped out of it. They dropped out. They had a party for, you know, for many, many years. And then they grew up and got really, really full of themselves, and, you know, like...
Yeah, isn't that weird? I wish I lived in the 60s sometimes, man, just to be around during the late...
I mean, they're still living it up, man. I mean, they're still living it up.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that post-California exodus of, like, hippies from that time, where'd they end up?
They ended up in the 80s. They ended up being the same people that fucking, like, you know, like fucking Reaganites. I mean, what I'm saying is...
Really?
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hippies
like,
became conservatives.
Your Bidens, your Kamala Harris's, your Trumps. Trump was not a hippie. Let's put it that way.
Hell no. I think he's never drank before.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, like, he was a guy that's like, that's how, and people are talking about him being like, you know, him raping girls and having prostitutes. They just don't understand. That's just evilness. That's basically like brainwashing people.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
respect people broke. Good shit.
You know, to see somebody that was like squeaky clean for that long and like managed to get through, you know, straight out of the 50s right into the 80s or something like that, like is pretty remarkable. But it's very rare. And where
guys, it's truly bold to defend capitalism. That's what's really counterculture, is basically saying the exact same things that your grandfather said. Like, that's what counterculture is. By the way, this is literally hogwash. It's brave and it's counterculture to say exactly the same. It's punk rock as fuck to say exactly the same things that your fucking racist ass grandparents said. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you do it, baby.
Where did all the hippies go? Where did all the rebels go? They're like normal. That's what they're Democrats. They're basically they're sellouts for the most part. They're sellouts.
So what are your favorite things about Trump?
I mean, he's just like, he's my hero. My favorite things about him are that he doesn't give up.
Mm-hmm.
He loves this country. He's not like letting, he kind of like just doesn't let himself be blackmailed by these people. I mean, like the media is so unified against him, and he has so many people that hate him.
What about like Fox News? Are they kind of like they're pretty into him? Yeah, whatever. But I mean, Tucker and Hannity are pretty.
Yeah, they're cool. They're cool. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying that, but Fox itself is Soros owned.
Yeah, but they still get more viewers than anybody else, and they're pro-Trump.
Wait, what?
Trump.
Because they're lapping up his audience, but like they're not like, but they're the establishment.
But they're still pro-Trump. I mean,
But they're not. But what I'm saying is, like, they called Arizona, man.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, like, when push comes to shove, they're not on. They're the establishment. The establishment is unified against him. It's a Democratic cabal. It's the last, like what I think that the Democrat. There's no trace of the Democrats anymore. Okay, like there's no party. There's no like kind of like place where they hang out, like a building where they hang out in Washington, where they do all their kind of like, you know, paperwork and business, and Like, no, it's gone, dude. Like the only trace of it, the only like remains of it are the media. The media's last trace of the establishment, that was there in power for 30 years before Trump, leading up to Trump. And I mean, they're all the way I see the Democratic Party is like it's like a street in Washington that's got all these tents on it. There's like there was a big tent on the end of it, but now it's not there anymore. And none of these tents are there anymore, really, as of a couple of weeks ago. But up until then, there was all these tents with people with used to have their government jobs, and there's Clinton out at the edge of the block in the biggest tent with her husband, and everybody's coming out every day, and they're going like, "Hey."
There's a lot about modern conservatives that the single moment where like Fox News reports the first time Fox News reports like the news in a credible fashion, they are considered to be sellouts. Like, bro, I can't believe Fox News called a state that, Joe Biden won. That's so fucked. My expectation is that they wouldn't do that because they haven't done it. They have literally been lying this entire time. So, of course, you're going to expect them to fucking lie or continue to lie. The moment where you don't is the first moment where you're like, wait a minute. No, this ain't it, bro. They're fucking Soros own, baby.
When are we going to go back? When do we get to move back into our office? And then and she's like, I'm working on it. We're very soon, very, very soon. That's what it is. And the media is just basically like the last, hint of the Democratic Party. They're not real. They're not real. There's a new Democratic Party now. It's been taken over by Kamala Harris, and there's a whole new crop. There's like the youngins. There's nobody in the room that we knew that was there anymore. The Clintons they're effectively done.
Who are these youngins?
It's the new progressive, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what they are, but they're like nothing you've ever seen. It's the new face of democracy. It's not the old order establishments who have been in power. This is like a new sort of like beefed up kind of like they're like high on some sort of like some they're on some like really like they're shot up with like some steroids or something like that. Like they have like a whole new plan, a whole new the Great Reset, a whole new green kind of future. They're so militant about it, and they have this and they're really not afraid to even use the word socialism anymore. It's like kind of like it's like post Bernie Sanders kind of thing.
What do you think their agenda is? This new left,
the Great Reset.
What's that?
A total one world government. One world government. They want to be able to control people and to control manufacture consent and to basically it's just a new feudalism kind of thing. It's like it'll be basically they want to have control and they never want to give it up again. So as long as they have control of the systems that are in place around the world at all times, they can regulate they can regulate the masses with either keeping them at bay with the media, so they can control them by sort of making people docile and bend over for them. Then that's good. But right now, what we have now is not far from that. What we have now is we have different nations. We've got different despotic leaders. We've got hidden powers. But ultimately, geopolitically, the world powers are China, U.S., and Russia. The U.S. represents the free market, and I'm sure China and Trump and Russia would like to get us off the block.
Yeah, the global behemoth, the economic giant that is Russia. Wow, he's on like every form of brainworms. You know what I mean? Like not only is he, I can't tell if it's like old school boomer, Cold War Red Scare brainworms, or if it's like new school liberal anti-Russia brainworms. Like I can't tell which fucking brainworm he has. It's like all of them, dude. It's so weird. This guy could be woke if you remember the bada boom is bada bing. Just saying. You fucking right over here. The socialist country, the central planned economy of Russia. Okay, remember when I said the only person who makes more sense on crack is the MyPillow CEO? I take it back. I think this dude might have been better off continuing on his meth shit as well. New brainworms just dropped, boys. You should take notes to improve Hank Pecker.
I mean, they'd still want us there, obviously, but not as a world power.
Mm-hmm. So what role does COVID play in all of this?
COVID was I believe, was a coordinated effort to get the technocrats and the masses all around the world, all in line.
Dude, like, that's the annoying thing is, like, American conservatism is such a fucking mishmash of, like, American conservatives have such inherently contradicting opinions that they hold on to that, like, if individual statements that he was making lacked any other point of context, you could think that, like, this guy, is he woke? Like, he's talking about, like, technocrats and shit. But also, he's simultaneously talking about how America created Google and how that's awesome and that's a consequence of free enterprise. But then he also turns around and he's like, Russia is advocating for a centrally planned economy and that Soros controls Fox. It's so
to basically,
weird.
like, give up their rights.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of, start over, more or less, sort of redistribution of wealth. I think these are all, it's a perfect excuse. It's not going to end or anything.
How does this guy live his entire life without a single person being like, bro, you're fucking crazy, dude? Like, who are his homies? Like, you got to find a new set of homies, dude. You got to have someone who fucking turns you around and says, like, brother, you are batshit crazy. Okay? You need to have, like, one person who could just be like, dog, what are you saying right now?
Thing is that, like, it's going to be, if they can do it once, they're gonna ramp it up.
Isn't Andrew getting trouble for platforming this guy? It's not like he's giving. No, of course not. No, he's way too fucking nuts. Like, he doesn't have to fucking debate him, dude. This dude is literally hanging himself with enough rope. Like, it's the example of that. Way too crazy.
Next time and do it even better. There's just gonna be a series of these things happening every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they're hoping. They want to get a coordinated effort, and they got that almost because it's a World Health Organization, So the science community has basically infiltrated the tentacles of the upper, the deep state powers that be, the sort of the unholy alliance of technocrats.
Now, who is the deep state? Who are these puppet masters?
China, some leaders in China, whoever's in power.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not. I mean, they're not in agreement with each other, for more or less. I mean, but for instance, like any kind of any despots. I mean, I think the Communist Party in China, probably the deep state. I don't think there's a deep state in the States per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think that, like, whoever the political parties that are in power have a very deep state capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But the EU and the Russian oligarchs and also
so literally every rich person and every politician except for Donald Trump and American billionaires. Like, he just basically said every wealthy person across the planet that's not American and every politician that's not American. Dude, American conservatives are so fucking stupid, dude. It's like capitalism good. All capitalists, on the other hand, all around the world are bad. Except for American capitalists, which are good. And also capitalism is good, but in America it's good because America's capitalist. Also, all those other capitalists across the world, they're actually socialist. I need a notepad to understand what he's saying, bro. I need to... If I try to track every fucking random thought that he had, I would literally come out of that looking like Charlie from Always Sunny in Philadelphia in front of the fucking Post-it notes. Screaming Pepe Sylvia. That's what's going on in his head right now.
The Middle East cabal.
So going back to COVID, do you plan to take this vaccine when it comes out?
Well, if I don't have it, then I don't need to, right? I mean, I feel like I'll get it if I take the vaccine.
Yeah, don't vaccines give you a little bit of it or something like that?
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's usually what you fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I'll wait till I actually get it before I take the vaccine.
What? Wait. Dog, you literally don't need that then. At that point, it's GG's, homie. Yo, dude, this guy's awesome.
You talked about artificial intelligence. Is there a connection between the vaccine and AI?
I just think that, obviously, science has come out in Science American. The scientific community has come out in support of Biden. So that makes me have to question science.
All right, let's take this fucking energy up a little bit. You ready? All right, ready? Ready for energy blast? What the hell's going on, man?
Did we just start?
We're starting right now.
We're starting over?
No, we're not starting over. We're just fucking blasting off. You ready?
I've already blasted off.
Let's go.
Let's go. Dude? I already blasted off, man. I'm saying, I've been fucking canceled, dude. Like, I've been practically canceled. Cancel culture is the same thing as fucking the Democrats. I mean, like anybody, they're just like, you might even get canceled just for having me on this show.
So going back to the political thing, what is going on with the Democratic Party?
The Democratic Party is just a cabal of criminals.
What kind of crimes?
Like all the crimes of
That's right.
Of conceit. They're
what?
Completely they're not honest people. They're people that have a.
Okay, I literally thought I was gonna be like, they're pedophiles. Like, he went crimes of conceit is literally not something that I thought was going to follow through. Like, he builds up for 26 minutes, and then they're like, okay, so what kind of crimes is Democrats committing? Tax evasion. You know what I mean? What a build-up for such a little baby. Crimes of conceit. That's what they're doing. Crimes of hurting my feelings.
Have a support group, so they feel galvanized and emboldened to have each one of them basically demonize their enemies. And they have a huge bully pulpit to do that. They've got all the media. They've got like the status quo and culture as they see it. Of course, it's not real. Everybody here, anybody from Portland or Seattle would know that, like you guys. You wouldn't have moved to California if it was a fucking paradise at Chaz, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
people are leaving California though, man.
Oh yeah, they're going to Arizona, right?
By the masses.
That's why Arizona's a blue state now.
So you think that Arizona was a blue state?
No.
Wait, Arizona turned blue because people left during COVID? Is that what he just said? Yo, that's so good.
Oh, I'm saying it's a blue state now because
Like California conservatives who thought California was too fucking blue for them simultaneously left to go to a red state, but then they ended up voting Democrat again? Like, how did that happen? But yes, also, Fox isn't allowed to call Arizona regardless of whether it's a blue state or not because it was fake.
because people can't afford to live
But
here.
you just said you don't believe the election results.
I don't.
But do you believe Arizona was blue?
I don't believe I don't believe anybody's blue. I honestly, I think that like the whole thing is fucking rigged to fucking high heaven.
Do you think every state was red?
By and large,
Mhm.
yes. Like most of the counties, maybe some of the cities, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't believe. I think that it was actually a landslide.
Hmm.
I mean, think about it. I mean,
Yeah, this dude definitely watches Tim Pool for sure. Like, there's no
you take
way.
away Biden being like the number one, having more votes given to him because he's such an inspiring person, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how inspiring he is. Everybody voted for him. So you're taking people that normally don't vote.
Or there's actually a fucking obvious answer to this, but you're so far, your head is stuck so far up Trump's ass that you can't see it, which is that's how much people hated Donald Trump. Which, by the way, if you were to ever look at one of those fake news media articles or outlets, you would recognize that reality, which is that 65% of Biden voters voted against Donald Trump rather than for Biden. You know? Or maybe it was a deep state pedophile cabal orchestrated by Democrats who are criminals of conceit and were able to get their act together and rig the election, even though everyone everywhere you go is Republican. It's one or the other. Who knows?
Who were inspired to vote because they hated Trump so much. That's what they want you to believe. That's what they want you to believe.
Oh, he does know. Never mind.
Do you see how that's bad thinking? Do you see how like the idea of compromising the integrity of a election, the idea that like let's do mail-in voting.
Mm-hmm. But then again, I think a lot of people really don't like Trump. Like a lot of
I don't think the people that don't like Trump. I'm sure that they don't like Trump. There's a lot of people.
People hate that guy, dude.
But they don't really. They just say
dude. But even if dude, people fucking hate him, dude.
They hate him because they like the attention, dude. I'm telling you, they don't hate him. They hate their father.
Mm-hmm.
They hate their.
Oh, this guy loves his dad and thinks Trump is his dad, I think. Yeah, no. Trump was trailing around 30% approval nationally throughout his entire, short-lived tenure, short-lived 4-year career as the president. But all of those people that hated him during that were just doing it because it's the fucking cool thing to do. And definitely not for legitimate reasons, or like they didn't even legitimately hate him. I love that.
Their parents, they hate any authority. They are anti-authoritarians.
Mm-hmm. Do you like
Wait. Why is he admitting that Trump is authoritarian?
authority?
I mean, listen, I don't like authority as much as anybody else, but I still acknowledge it.
Do you like cops?
I don't like cops, but I fucking am grateful that they're here. I mean, I stay away from cops. I try to...
Bro, this guy is so punk rock, dude. Dude, there's nothing more fucking grunge than acknowledging that authority exists. This guy's all...
fucking basically, like, be as law-abiding as I can, and basically try to not, like, when I get stopped for anything, I try to be respectful as possible and to get out of the situation.
Well, you're saying Biden voters are anti-authoritarian, but Biden himself is like a mass incarcerator to a huge degree, so he's definitely an authoritarian.
Well, I mean, the facts are obviously
they're both
but he's also on the way out. I mean, he's got a gun to his back.
So you think Biden is an authoritarian?
Biden's the last. He's He's like a cardboard cutout.
So who's the anti-authoritarian that is going to ultimately?
Oh, Kamala Harris.
You think she's an anti-authoritarian? Yes, people know.
Prosecutor, dude. Yo, Kamala Harris. Both simultaneously a cop, but also not an anti-authoritarian.
What about that?
I mean, they're power hungry. They're power mad. Yeah. They think that they're starting up. They're putting their friends in positions. There's a whole. It could be. There's lots of conspiratorial agents that come from everywhere around the world. I feel
like Kamala Harris seems pretty centrist and maybe even a little bit right. I mean, she used to be the DA in SF in Oakland. She was locking people up like crazy. If she believes in law and order, she would crack down on all the fucking cancel culture that was going on.
Dude, yo, conservatives are such privileged babies, dude. Yo, if you love law and order, you will stop people from yelling at me when I say the N-word, dude. That's real law and order. Law and order is when you fucking make sure that people don't write mean things in my fucking Twitter replies, dude. That's awesome. Bro, you fucking arrest... Yo, people talking about arrest the CEO of racism. How about you arrest the CEO of cancel culture, dude?
I guess for lack of a better word, when did you kind of become more red-pilled?
I was red-pilled the whole time, man. Yeah, I was always like my own fucking... I don't call it red-pilled. I mean, it was just... I was an outsider then. Then it's sort of like some aspects of me got sort of like accepted and integrated and sort of like, you know, I influenced bands and like there's like a whole, you know, styles. I mean, I think like a lot of the sort of like the queer stuff was inspired by. I mean, I was a cross-dressing. I was a pretty bitch when I was younger. You know, like I was just totally fucking hanging it up and being. I was a prettier girl than I was a handsome guy. Let's put it that way. So I was. So that's. I always was like.
Do you still cross-dress?
No.
How come?
No, because I don't feel hot. I don't feel like a pretty girl. If I felt like a pretty girl, I would do that. I just feel like an ugly girl.
Anything else you want to say to the world before we wrap up?
It's been nice knowing you guys. See you in hell.
Another racist femboy. Yeah, that's kind of sad. I think he's going through some shit. I can't believe I watched the whole thing. Holy fuck.